Vikings are officially picking number 18 in the 2026 NFL Draft. And coming up on today's edition of Vikings Now, we'll be looking at 5 draft targets from Minnesota. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome into Vikings Now. So here's the official 2026 NFL Draft order. The Las Vegas Raiders ended up getting the number 1 overall pick, followed by the Jets, Cardinals, Titans. Then you had the Browns, Commanders, Saints, and it is crazy that the Kansas City Chiefs are slotted in there at number 9, but they have the Bengals rounding out the top 10 after their 6-11 season. But now the draft gets a little weird. You have the Miami Dolphins slotted with the 11th overall pick, the Dallas Cowboys at number 12, and then shout out to the Atlanta Falcons for trading their first-round pick to the Los Angeles Rams, giving them the 13th overall pick, then the Ravens at 14. It is crazy. The Vikings had a season from hell, and the Vikings, I mean, they're picking behind the Ravens and the Chiefs, which is nuts. And then you had the Buccaneers, 8 and 9. Jets had that pick from the from the Indianapolis Colts, and the Lions and the Vikings both at 9 and 8 at 17 and 18. So we can start looking at some top positions of need for the Vikings, and these are just my personal opinion on these. You guys could have, a different opinion here, but I think the number 1 position need for the Vikes is the safety position. Then I'll go number 2 corner overall here. You see, clearly got to add some talent to the secondary. I think tight end, a sneaky position of need for the Vikes. I'm going to go inside linebacker. Now, I think Eric Wilson, Blake Cashman both had solid seasons. I think you might need to get younger there. I mean, Eric Wilson was fantastic, but you're really banking on him doing that again. I wouldn't mind maybe the Vikings looking at some of these guys in the draft, and then I'm going to have defensive tackle at number 5. But you guys let me know. I think this could have multiple answers as what is the biggest position of need for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, if you say safety, corner, any of the 5 I listed, I could hear you out. So you guys let me know your thoughts. What is the biggest position of need for the Vikings? All right, before we dive into my 5 draft targets, I think I have a hot take for you guys. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. I think the Vikings should try to trade Jordan Addison and their first-round pick and move up and draft Caleb Downs. And this isn't even a shot at Addison. This is more love for Caleb Downs. I think he is the best player in this draft class by a wide margin. And I think he would be a hell of a fit with Brian Flores. This guy's a hell of a tackler. He's got great instincts. I mean, he was starting as a freshman at Alabama. I mean, he played every snap there, and he was also returning punts. He's just naturally a gifted football player. Like, he's not just a safety. He's not just a defensive player. Like, he's a really, really good football player. You could see it when this guy, he'll have an interception, and he just turns into a running back. And you think he's going to take it back to the house every single time. He's also, his Ohio State teammates and coaches have raved about his personality, say he's an old soul, just a natural leader, very mature for his age. I think if you would do this trade, I think it would be a home run. Like, I would have no concerns taking a safety number 6 because this safety is Kyle Hamilton. I think he could be better than Kyle Hamilton. And we just saw how impactful Kyle Hamilton was in that Sunday night football game between the Ravens and the Steelers. If you were watching, the Steelers couldn't move the ball when Hamilton was playing. He gets hurt, opens up the entire offense for Pittsburgh. But this is the deal I would propose. And I was talking to our Browns report host here, and he said he would take this deal. And maybe it's a little much to move up, only 12 spots. But the Vikings attach their first-round pick and Jordan Addison. You get pick number 6, you draft Caleb Downs. If I'm doing anything this offseason, and you are the Vikings, this might be at the top of my list. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about this in the comments section. But let's talk about these draft targets now. Obviously, corner, massive need here for the Vikings. Isaiah Rodgers, Byron Murphy Jr. did not have great seasons. So let's talk about Mansoor Delane. This guy's got some swagger. He is a fantastic tackler. And I think in the Brian Flores system, he would excel because, even though he's not like a typical press man corner, I actually think he does better kind of playing off and just letting his instincts take over. Well, I mean, the amount of times that we have seen the Vikings, they line up 6, 7 guys, sometimes 8 guys on the line, and they got their DBs playing at the sticks. And you got to have some elite closing speed. You got to have some great instincts. Mansoor Delane would fit that bill 110%. Will he be there at 18? TBD. But if he is, and that's the selection for the Vikings, I think we would all be very, very happy with that draft pick. Now, number 2, a guy who I'm really, really falling in love with. And if you guys are blessed enough to watch the Oregon game this weekend, just keep your eyes on number 18. This guy is a freak, and his name is Kenyon Sadiq. This guy is one of the most jacked dudes in college football. He is 6'2", 245 pounds, and his legs are absolutely massive. I mean, the thighs on this guy, I mean, you can see it in this photo right now. I mean, it's not showing his legs, but you guys can see his arms. Just a physical freak. And Oregon uses them in multiple ways. They throw screens to him. They throw tunnel screens. He's a great blocker. He can go over the middle of the field. Now, I highly doubt this guy will be there at 18. Maybe this is something the Vikings try to trade up to 12, trade up to 11 to try to nab this guy. But if you cut TJ Hockenson and you pair up Sadiq, who's also a hell of a run blocker, and you get Sadiq, Josh Oliver with this improved offensive line, and you got Jefferson and Addison, and that's your 12 personnel next season, that would be an elite unit. Like that personnel grouping of Sadiq, Oliver, Addison, Jefferson, the quarterback, the running back, and that five-man group of the offensive linemen, that would be tough to stop. Also, the Vikings would get more downhill, I think, with Sadiq. It would give them more of a physical feel offensively because you guys can probably see by this photo, this guy's a physical football player. Kenyon Sadiq, watch him during the college football playoff in the last 2 games for him. This guy's unbelievable. Even just go throw on his highlight tape. You throw on his highlight tape, this guy's hurdling everybody. In a 10-minute highlight tape, he tries to hurdle about 15 different defenders. So, Kenyon Sadiq, besides Caleb Downs, I think he would be number 2 for me in terms of my dream draft targets for the Vikings. But another guy that's getting a lot of buzz as of late is Ohio State inside linebacker. He can play some little outside linebacker. That's Sonny Styles. This guy's big, 6'4", physical football player. Now, obviously, Ohio State losing to my guy Dylan's Miami Hurricanes, so a lot of their stock might be falling a little bit. But this guy was all over the football field in that game. This guy could fly around. He hits hard. He kind of reminds me of sleeping on his name right now. Had this comparing Tremaine Edmonds, the Bears linebacker, kind of similar physical profiles. Very versatile in coverage as well. He also is a very good leader. His Ohio State teammates and coaches rave about him. And this guy's flying up draft boards as of late. This guy he would be awesome. And also, I think the Vikings, that's why I wanted them to do it last year in the draft. Like, give Flores more talent. If Flores stays as the defensive coordinator, your first-round pick, number 18, it has to go to defense. It has to. Because last year in the draft, drafted Donovan Jackson. He took Ty Fulton in the 3rd round. Just pandering to Kevin O'Connell. Here you go. Here's more. You want more? Here's more. Go get Flores, his guy. Lean more into the strength of this football team because the strength of this football team is the defense. So go get Brian Flores, that middle linebacker, Sonny Styles. But, hey, it's Black Monday, and the Vikings still have the same GM. Also, quick take here. I know we all wanted Kwesi probably fired. I think that's a consensus among Vikings fans. I think Kwesi not getting fired is a good sign that Flores is going to come back if he does not get a head coaching job. Because I don't think the Vikings wanted to fire Kwesi and then had to pay off his contract and also make Flores the highest paid defensive coordinator in the league. Maybe that's my drinking too much purple Kool-Aid take of the day. But I think this should be good insight unless Flores gets a head coaching job that he should be back. But draft's going to be big for the Vikes this year. They're in cap hell. They got to hit on a lot of these draft picks. You guys let me know. What's your confidence level in Kwesi Adofo-Mensah? Do you think he can turn it around? Do you think he can learn from his mistakes? Scale it for me 1 to 10 down below in the comments section. Now we'll get to 2 more draft targets here in a second, but today's sponsor is Factor Meals, my favorite sponsor we have here at Vikings Now by Chat Sports. And if you guys head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off and plug in promo code VikingsChat50off, we'll hook you guys up with 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 whole year. And new year means big goals. And if you guys have no time to cook, well, Factor's got you because Factor makes it easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs so you can eat well without the shopping or cooking. And I love Factor because they have no refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and no refined seed oils, all very, very healthy. And they have meals that fit your goals and schedule, healthier eating, calorie management, and protein. Factor does it all, and they have over 100 rotating weekly meals. I mean, I absolutely love the blackened salmon. I've had that multiple times, and if you guys try that, trust me, you'll like it. Also, the Texas Cheddar Burger, that's a fantastic one you see on screen right now. And if you guys head on over to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off and use promo code VikingsChat50off, we'll hook you guys up with 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Now, this offer is only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. So make healthier eating easy with Factor. All right, here's a draft target I know a lot of Vikings fans are a fan of, and for right reason. This guy was one of the best players in college football this past season. Jeremiyah Love. Now, Jeremiyah Love is interesting to me because are the Vikings in a position to take a running back in the first round? I think you could argue yes. Like, clearly this team has a lot of talent on it, and this would be, I think any team is taking a running back in the first round. It's a luxury pick. Like, I saw, like, CBS, they had a mock draft where I had the Saints taking Jeremiyah Love at pick number 8. I'm like, are the Saints in any position to take a running back in the top 10? Absolutely not. But those are the Vikings are going 9-8. Got a pretty complete team. If you want to just kind of have that extra cherry on top of this offense, like, Jeremiyah Love wouldn't be bad. I think this would also be a pick where, like, I wouldn't be nervous at all about him being a bust. I think he's a legit NFL running back. He's got a lot of potential to be a long starter in the NFL, but I would probably still say no in terms of the Vikes taking a running back in the first round because is Kevin O'Connell going to change his ways? I don't think so. I don't think KOC will ever be a run-first offensive mind. So I'd probably say no on Jeremiyah Love, but if they took him, like, I wouldn't be mad. Like, this guy's going to be a stud. And the combination of Jeremiyah Love, Justin Jefferson would entice me a whole lot. But also, I don't think he's going to be there at pick 18. I think this guy's going to be a top 12 pick. Watch out for the Kansas City Chiefs taking him at pick number 9. But number 5 here, we're going to go Jermod McCoy, the Tennessee corner. Now, interesting prospect here. He's 6 foot, 193 pounds. This guy's young. He is 20 years old, and he had an interesting season at Tennessee. Graded out, pretty well throughout the season. He did have some bad games, but he is draft eligible, and he's a very physical corner as well, which I do appreciate. Obviously, in the Brian Flores, you got to be a physical corner. He's also lined up, mainly as an outside corner. So maybe this gives the Vikings some flexibility where if you take a guy like this, you could put Byron Murphy more in the slot. You can work in a guy like Isaiah Rodgers. This kid's got some swagger to him. I like him. I think he's more of a developmental prospect for the Vikes. Or I think they're also in the position where they need the players that will be day one impacts. But we'll see. I think he's another name to keep your eyes out on. But you guys let me know. Who do you want the Vikings to draft? I think the most realistic option for me would be Kenyon Sadiq, the Oregon tight end. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. Who do you want the Vikings to draft? We'll get on out of here. As always, go Vikes.